a redraft. And the redraft that we're going to talk about is Bill Simmons. As you guys know, Bill Simmons he was a former ESPN analyst, if you guys want to call him that. Now he has a company called The Ringer, where they do basketball and NFL content, just sports content, if you will. Now he did his redraft of the 2021 NBA draft class 1 through 10, and we're going to react to this as well, you guys. So in this redraft, we can kind of just go through 1 through 10 and what the actual picks were. So Cade Cunningham was 1, as you guys know. Jalen Green was number 2 to the Rockets. Number 3 was Evan Mobley to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Scotty Barnes was 4 to the Raptors. Jalen Suggs was number 5 to the Magic. Josh Giddey was 6 to the Thunder. Number 7, Golden State selected Jonathan Kuminga. 8th overall, the Magic selected Franz Wagner. 9th overall, the Kings selected Davion Mitchell. And 10th overall, the Pelicans drafted Zaire Williams for the Grizzlies, and they eventually did draft Trey Murphy outside of the lottery. But let's react to this redraft, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have a lot of thoughts and comments and opinions about this one. So in Bill Simmons' redraft for the Detroit Pistons, first overall, when we win the lottery, he's not selecting Cade Cunningham 1. He selected Evan Mobley. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm still selecting Cade Cunningham first overall. But taking my Piston cap off for a minute, just being a basketball fan, I can understand it. I can understand wanting a guy that can block shots, very versatile, can shoot threes. I can at least understand it a little bit. Some of these picks later down this mock draft, he lost me. But he's got Evan Mobley first overall to your Detroit Pistons. Number 2, Houston Rockets. As you guys know, they drafted Jalen Green in this spot. He has them selecting Cade Cunningham, and I think most of us would agree if Evan Mobley went 1, Cade Cunningham was the best available player. Can't really be mad at that. Cade is from that Texas area, so I'm sure a lot of Rockets fans would have been ecstatic if they got Cade Cunningham number 2 overall, right? Number 3, he had the Cavs selecting Jalen Suggs, another guard. Now, what's absolutely wild about this? This is no shot at Jalen Suggs. Really good basketball player, really good defender. The Cavs probably wouldn't draft another guard. They just wouldn't, in my opinion. And I think that's why they drafted Evan Mobley 3 overall. Jalen Suggs as high as 3 is laughable, in my opinion, when you have guys like Sengun, Scotty Barnes, even Jalen Green still on the draft board. I don't really get the infatuation with Jalen Suggs with Bill Simmons, but I think he's crazy. I think he's certifiably crazy taking Jalen Suggs as high as 3 in a redraft. But hey, man, that's just my opinion. I think he's a good defender. Don't get me wrong, but 3 is just blasphemous. Number 4, for the Raptors, he would have them selecting Jalen Johnson. Now, Jalen Johnson was a draft pick by the Atlanta Hawks, and he's a really good player. Let me state that. Very, very, very good basketball player. But here's the thing, you guys. The Raptors probably take Sengun. They might just say, hey, let's take Scotty Barnes again. No shot at Jalen Johnson. I just don't agree with it. I think he's a fine player, good player, but if I'm the Raptors, I'd probably still take Scotty Barnes. I'd probably take Alperen Sengun. I think that, his 3rd and 4th pick are bonkers. Absolute bonkers, in my opinion. So with the Magic pick, their 5th pick in this redraft, he has them selecting Alperen Sengun. Now, if Sengun was still there at 5, this would be like a home run pick. In a redraft, I think he would go as high as 2, personally, because he's just such a good basketball player. I remember doing pre-draft stuff when I was at Woodward Sports and helping out one of their writers over there, Andrew. Shout out to Andrew if he's watching this. And I was calling him Baby Jokic back then. And now you hear announcers call him Baby Jokic. But yeah, number 5 overall for him. Definitely. I think if he was there at 5 for the Magic, they're ecstatic. But I don't know if he'd last the 5th overall pick in the redraft. Number 6, OKC. They took Josh Giddey in the situation. He thinks Scotty Barnes would fall to 6. I just don't agree with that either. I think Scotty Barnes goes top 5 in a redraft personally. I just don't see Scotty Barnes slipping the 6. Even though he's injured right now, Scotty Barnes is one of the better players out of this draft class. I mean, he won Rookie of the Year. God forbid. And he has him falling out of the top 5. I don't understand it. Number 7, he has the Golden State Warriors selecting Trey Murphy. Now, Trey Murphy has developed quite nicely for the Pelicans, as you guys know. That's where Trajan Langdon was. That's where Fred Vincent was. Even Michael Blackstone, for that matter. Fred Vincent definitely helped develop him quite a bit. Now, he was a pretty good shooter already coming out of the draft, but he's an elite shooter in my opinion right now. But I don't think Golden State goes Trey Murphy. I think they probably still take Kuminga personally. Kuminga's a good player. It's just his role isn't as consistent as he probably would want it to be playing under Steve Kerr. And that whole situation in Golden State with him is wild. I think they should possibly try to build around him after Steph Curry is gone. Because I think he's that special of a player. He's kind of like a Jaylen Brown type if he can, develop everything. Because the defense is there. The shot is just, it's getting better. But if he gets more consistent, like that's a forward that is just going to be a menace on both ends of the court. But I don't really agree with the Trey Murphy pick at 7 for them. So the Magic had 2 draft picks in the 2021 NBA draft. Bill Simmons still thinks Franz Wagner is there today. I'm sorry, he's not. He's not. I doubt in a redraft Franz is still there at 8. I don't know if you guys saw the Magic game against the Lakers. Had a game winner against them. Just sinked a 30-footer. Like, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, like no way Franz Wagner in a redraft falls out as low as 8. I think that's just crazy talk. Number 9, the Kings selected Davion Mitchell. Originally, he would have them selecting Herb Jones. Now, Herb Jones was a 2nd-round pick. And he developed quite a bit into a two-way player. But wouldn't surprise me if he was in the lottery. I don't know if the Kings reach and try to get him at 9. That seems a little bit too smart for the Kings, in my opinion. Even though the Kings have made, pretty good draft choices over the last 3 or 4 years. Kind of feels a little bit far-fetched that they would try to draft a Herb Jones in a redraft. I just can't see it with them. Number 10, obviously, it was the Pelicans pick. Now, if Jalen Green somehow fell to 10, they probably don't trade their pick, but I think Jalen Green at 10 is probably worse than Jalen Suggs at 3, in my opinion. No way Jalen Green in a redraft falls at 10. I know he's streaky, and I know some Pistons fans don't like him. I understand it. He was talking greasy about the city. Like, he was just talking so much shit about the city. But, I mean, if we're being honest, there's no way Jalen Green falls to 10th overall in a redraft. I think Bill Simmons needs to get his head examined if he honestly thinks that. Jalen Green is way too talented to fall in a redraft at 10. But that's just my overall thoughts. I know you guys are probably going to have really strong opinions about this redraft. I thought it was something fun we could talk about. But at the end of the day, your Pistons are still taking Cade Cunningham. Like, what are we doing here? At the end of the day, what are we doing here? There's no way that Cade Cunningham wouldn't go 1 in the redraft.